Say hi. So we're making a cooking video because we want to. I'm supposed to say that. There we go. Today we're making a Bahn Mi sandwich. The world's greatest sandwich. He wants my phone. I love Bahn Mi's. I hope you do too. We're gonna make them with some roasted Brussels sprouts. Bahn Mi and roasted Brussels sprouts. Let's go. So for our quick pickled veg, what we're gonna do is cut a really nice. By the way, if you ever drop your knife like that, don't try to grab it. We're gonna cut a nice fine, like julienne. We want them to be like, I guess I'll cut this in half. We want them to be like nice, kind of bite-sized lengths, not bite-sized lengths per se, but a nice length for a sandwich. So, you wouldn't want them huge strips. It'll be pretty crispy, so something you can bite through. So the way I like to cut those is, if needed, this is pretty stable. I'll give myself one anyway. Give yourself a little bit of a flat surface to work with. So we'll do something with that later. But give yourself like a nice flat end like that, and then cut really thin, big planks like this. Daikons are really cool. They're not white carrots. They are radishes, or they're in the radish family. What I like to do when I'm looking to cut really fine julienne is stack them like roof shingles. So start on kind of the far end and then stack them up so as they get closer to you. It doesn't have to be super perfect, but so that the ones closest to you are on top, so that as you push, you're kind of always pushing down. I see people stack them in like straight vertical stacks. I'm not a huge fan of that. I've messed with that technique. See how thin they are, by the way. I've kind of messed with that technique, and I find it a little more prone to like slipping and things like that. So what I like about this is you can get them here, get them like that. And these don't have to be perfect, right? We're not in a Michelin star restaurant, but we're gonna get judged for half centimeter variances in their julienne. But you can see how kind of easy it is to cut this. You can see how nice they're coming out. I mean, they are pretty even though I said it doesn't matter that they're not perfect. You can see how close to being almost the same exact size every single one of them is. So I'll do that. I'll keep doing that with this daikon. I will do it with carrot, and then we'll get our quick pickling process started. Here's how I like to do my quick pickles, is get them into a container that they'll fit in nicely. In this case, we're using a deli container, which I don't buy these, I just acquire them. I brought home some soup or something. Something came home with us in this, most likely. We don't go out to eat a lot, but when we do, and we can repurpose the things like this, we do. So I like a ratio, personally, of about half vinegar to water. You can use the ratio that makes you happy. For me, it's about 50-50. I really like vinegar, so I think that might even be a little more intense on the vinegar side than some people like. So we'll go about halfway up, kind of eyeball it. About halfway up the veg, the vinegar, rice wine vinegar specifically. It can be any kind, but love Kikkoman's rice vinegar. We'll do the other half with water. I like mine with a nice pinch of salt. Good pinch of salt there. And for me personally, it's just a little bit of sugar. Some pickling recipes are more sugar than salt. I don't like my pickled vegetables too sweet, so what's that, a teaspoon, give or take? So not too much sugar, throw in just a little. Cook with feeling. You can play around with those ratios though, do what makes you happy. So if you like it saltier, add more salt. If you like it sweeter, add more sugar. If you like it more or less acidic, throttle up and down your vinegar to water ratio. I like to throw a few cracks of pepper in. Then we grab a lid. Hopefully this is one that fits. I got a few deli container lids up there. Okay. And we give it a shake. Give it a nice violent shake. That's it. They'll be ready in 5-10 minutes. I'm going to put them in the fridge while we get the rest of dinner ready. I'm going to go ahead and cut up the fresh ingredients that are going in our Bahn Mi. My wife will not eat jalapeno or the cucumber, so it's just for me. I'm not going to cut up too much. Just wash this cucumber off real quick. Try it off. Now when I eat raw jalapeno on a sandwich like this, I've made this sandwich before, I kind of like it in pretty thin slices. Fun fact about jalapenos, they aren't always hot. So taste it. I would rate this one hot. It's good. Hoping it's spicy. Sometimes they taste like a bell pepper. So if you're making anything with jalapeno in it, guacamole, pico, where it's like a part of an larger flavor profile, make sure you taste it so you know kind of what you're getting yourself into. Might inform how much you use. And if you're using more than one, you may want to taste each one so you can figure out how hot they are. I also want to talk about this knife because it's really cool. So I bought this on chefknivesToGo.com. It's from Vietnam, and it is made from the spring leaf on a car. It's an independent knife maker from Vietnam. It's not a major company, and he makes knives specifically out of spring leaves on cars, and I thought it looked cool. It wasn't very expensive, only like $60, so I bought it. If you know or have seen my videos before, I have Wusthoffs, I have Schuns, all kinds of knives. I've probably got, I don't even know, a few dozen knives, and I've probably got close to over a dozen chef-style knives. So, I think my bread's done. I'm gonna get that out of the oven, and we are pretty much ready to build our sandwiches. Something we need to fully enjoy our sandwiches is a spicy mayo. Bahn Mi doesn't have a ton of guidelines as far as how you build it. In the ones I've seen other people make or have bought while out to eat or whatever, the things that I see as commonalities are a protein. So we're using ham terrine today, but I've seen pork, shrimp. In researching the sandwich, other types of terrines are common. Whatever makes you happy though can go on there. You see mayonnaise is a common bread, so I haven't really seen one that doesn't have mayonnaise. It's often spicy, but I don't want to sit here and say that it has to be spicy. And so when I make a spicy mayonnaise, I like it a little bit of acid. So for ours here, I'm throwing a tiny pinch of salt too, not much. For ours here, we've got Kewpie mayonnaise. There are people who think Kewpie is the world's best mayonnaise, and there are people who are wrong. We've got sriracha and a little bit of lime juice to make our mayonnaise. I think I want a little bit more mayo in there than that. The lime juice thinned it out a tad more than I would like. Almost out of this one. Let's taste that. It's gonna be good. Yep, not too spicy. Ever since my wife had the baby, she's really lost her spice tolerance. I'll probably throw a little extra sriracha on my sandwich. But this is good mayonnaise to use as the base. Let's get our terrine sliced. So this is a pork terrine. I made it a couple of days ago. I had Bahn Mi in mind. I also got a little bit of a, I don't know what you want to call it, food challenge from my brother-in-law, Harley. Shout out to him. You should make pork terrine. That was great. So we kind of want the thickness that'll go good on a sandwich. So we'll go about there. Cut. Check on our Brussels. That'll work for 2 sandwiches plus a little for the baby. Let's check on our Brussels. Oh, they're looking good. I'm gonna leave them in the oven and just turn the oven off. And looking at the history of Bahn Mi, it's an interesting sandwich because it's Vietnamese. And at its heart, it is inexpensive street food. I can call it cheap. Cheap things suck, cheap things break. It's inexpensive. Inexpensive street food. So if you're out and about, and you go into like some, I don't know, hipster cafe, coffee shop, whatever, and they're trying to charge you $15, $20 for a Bahn Mi, tell them to get on. It is not supposed to be an expensive sandwich. It's a grab and go street food kind of thing. I think, I'm not joking, I really think it's the world's best sandwich. So I'm gonna exclude hamburgers and stuff from that conversation. But man, I love Italian American style, like Italian hoagies, and this. Those are my top 2. I don't even know what's third. So we'll get our spicy mayo on. So anyway, going back to talking about the sandwich, it's Vietnamese, but it's got all this French stuff in it, right? Like it's made with a baguette, and it has mayonnaise, and it has terrines, and it's like, what is happening here? Well, if you're not familiar, French colonialism in Vietnam was very strong, and it showed up in their food, the food of Vietnam. And so this has become a Vietnamese classic, if you will. And it has strong French influences. Like I said, mine's gonna have cucumber. It's also lightly salted. And fresh jalapeno. And then pickled veg. Fun fact, you can absolutely ruin pickled vegetables by sticking your bare hands in there, spreading your germs around, and getting it all in the pickle. We're gonna put the meat on before we put that in. So there's a tureen. This is gonna, almost one does the whole sandwich, huh? Cut a little bit more. I don't think I want to double it down. It's not meant to be super thick. So that looks good. We'll go on with our pickled veg. Put that. Some of hers. Beautiful. Fresh cilantro. I don't like a ton of this. I say that, I put a ton of markers. Okay. Now the fun part. You cannot convince me that there is not a sandwich on this earth that is not dramatically improved by spending at least a little bit of time wrapped up. Throw a little extra sriracha in there. So we'll take some parchment paper. That's what I have. There's just something about being molded inside a wrapper that I think makes every sandwich better. Or at least submarine shaped sandwiches. I am out of parchment paper. So this one's getting wrapped in foil. They're pretty small, so I'm not inclined to cut them. All right, we cut up some bread earlier for the baby. He doesn't like pickled things. We'll give him some tureen. Don't worry, cut that up. And we'll get our Brussels plated and we will eat.